Welcome in to EndZone Week 5. We got a great game there in Tupelo against West Point. Battle of number 1 versus number 2. We'll have highlights from that one later on. And then we've got Brandon and Starkville. One battle down south. And Shannon and Saltillo. We've got a great show lined up. Stick with us. Another great edition of EndZone, man.
WCBI Sports EndZone Show with Carlo Barone and Avery Cameron is brought to you by Carl Hogan Toyota, Fastnet, powered by Ford County, and Clark Beverage Group.
Welcome into EndZone, our 5th week here, and we have some really big games here, Avery.
Lots going on tonight. Lots of big games across the board.
A lot of big games, a lot of teams fighting to stay undefeated, a lot of teams trying to defend state titles and
losing that undefeated streak.
Yeah, looking at kind of the final scores and stuff we'll get to. It's been a wild Friday so far.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, it's been a wild 5 weeks. Let's just say that.
That's true. You never know what happens, I guess, in the Golden Triangle for football. But plenty of great stuff we have coming your way. But we will start with our game of the week between the number 1 and number 2 team in the entire state. You could argue one of the biggest games in the entire state for the entire season. We will start in Tupelo between the Golden Wave and the Green Wave.
The WCBI EndZone Game of the Week, presented by Carl Hogan Toyota.
Check out this 2025 Toyota Corolla. This thing was very comfortable. Speakers are loud. Look at those rims on that car. Get yours at Carl Hogan Toyota today. That's a sweet ride. The battle of number 1 versus number 2. 2 teams defending state titles, 2 teams with undefeated records. Let's do this. We'll start in the first. Colt Whitaker fakes a run and throws to Jamichael Strong. And the Green Wave get a first down on their first drive. They're moving the chains. Later in the drive, Whitaker fakes the handoff. He's going to roll out to his left. He's going to call his own number, dives at the pylon, and gets in for the Green Wave touchdown. They take a 6-0 lead on the road. After a Tupelo punt, Golden Wave back on defense, and that is Jalen Rob McCoy, the Florida commit, getting the 7-yard loss tackle in the backfield. What a player he's become in his time there. Tupelo now on offense. Jane Hill, the quarterback, running back, do it all for Tupelo, and he's doing it all right here on this long run down the left sideline. Golden Wave now moving the chains. That's a first down. We'll move to a few plays later in the drive. Golden Wave facing a 4th down. Hill, like I said, quarterback's going to pass, but the Green Wave are all over it, stop him short of the line to gain, and they turn it over on downs. West Point takes over. Final plays before the half. Kingston Braham is going to get into the end zone for West Point's second touchdown of the first half. They would lead that one 14-0 at the break. And we've got a shocker here as West Point gives Tupelo their first loss since November of 2023. They go in to Tupelo and they win that one by 7. The final, 28-21. And looking at some scores here, I believe this one is actually incorrect. Starkville would win this one 22-14. Good win for John Carr and company down south, really down south, a few hours south. But that one didn't go south for them as they were able to pull that one out. Oxford getting back on the winning ways here. They lost to Tupelo last week, but they beat one of the best teams in 6A pretty handily there. They beat Grenada, handing them their first loss this season. Oxford wins it 35-17. And Columbus in Neshoba Central. Neshoba Central getting the home victory over Columbus. Another week where the Falcons' offense just not really in sync, but they'll be back and they'll be ready to win more games like this. But their defense, they're good last week. 17 points is usually good enough to get you a ball game win.
Moving over to Shannon and Saltillo. Shannon's going to host Saltillo here. Head coach Ken Tops ready for the second half. Going to go down here. And then they're on offense here. Going to take that little pass, not make too many yards. Back again. Here we go. Red Raiders here all the way around the line of scrimmage. Not too many yards there, but still a little good run for him. A few plays later, they're going to hold their defense with a good stop, and then beautiful catch by number 4 here. We're going on. Final score there, 40-21, Shannon on top.
Good win for Ken Tops and co. Another high-level game here, Hernando and Lafayette. Wow, if you had the over, I'm sorry, you're going to walk away down some money here, but Lafayette gets the home win over Hernando. What an impressive win for the Commodores there. They win that one by 5 in a tight-knit ball game, 17-12. We'll next head out to Itawamba, hosting Aberdeen. Homecoming for Itawamba here. Aberdeen looking to play spoiler. Itawamba quarterback Hoots is going to drop back, and he's going to pass, but it goes out of bounds as he's flushed out. Great job by that Aberdeen defense, but next series not so good by the Aberdeen defense as Itawamba takes it in for the 4-yard touchdown. And Itawamba, look at that, homecoming, nice celebration there. And Itawamba would get the home victory on homecoming. The final score, 34-18. And we've got more coming up on EndZone. We've got updates and highlights from New Albany and Pontotoc, Noxubee County and Louisville, another very good game, and then Eupora and Knox Bader. Stick around, we've got plenty more coming up on EndZone. Welcome back to EndZone. New Albany hosting Pontotoc. Here's a 4A action. Warriors giving to Markavian Jones. Not much running room there, just stuck at the line. Third down, Austin Bean looking deep, but he's picked off by Jalen Nesbitt for the Bulldogs. They're going the other way. New Albany takes over. Braden Shettles going to throw over the middle to Cameron Ray, and he's going to get some yak after that, and he's going to get a first down for New Albany. Then Shettles, a few plays later, is going to find Xavier Coleman, and he's going to take this one, some more yak, plenty of yak, a lot of yak, and he's going to get a yak and score as New Albany rolls in Pontotoc and hands the Warriors their first loss of the season, 45-22. Wow, look at this one, guys. New Hope over Houston. Oh my goodness gracious. 63-burger on a home field. 63-18 the final. New Hope over Houston. And North Pontotoc and Kazoo. North Pontotoc, repping out for the city. The main, or I don't want to say the main school, but the biggest school lost tonight. So North Pontotoc said, hey, I'll rep it out for the city, and they get the win against Kazoo on the road, 33-14.
All right, Carlo, let's move over to the annual Toothpick Bowl right here, this matchup between Noxubee and Louisville. With 44 seconds left, they're going to score their first touchdown. Tristan Edwards to Zayden Jernigan. Well, we know that name
Scores
so well.
like every week.
Every single week. First score of the night, but definitely not his last. The Wildcats go up first, 8-0 there. Just a few plays later, they're going to do it again. Edwards looking, drops back a few steps. Nice pass right there to Kentrell Haynes. Another touchdown, Wildcats. Tyrone Shorter taking the Wildcats up early, 15-0 in the second quarter here. Noxubee's looking to regroup, and they do it. Jakeem Goodwin looks here to get the Tigers on the board. Fakes even me out with this camera work right here, but that's okay. Cameron Chandler wide open in the end zone there. Connects, makes the magic happen. They get their first touchdown right before the half. The final score there, 25-20, Louisville finally gets their win.
That field just looks beautiful. I was there last week, Avery there tonight. That is just a beautiful field. Nice job there at Noxubee. Also nice job for the Tigers as Winona goes to Amanda Elzy, and they get the road victory pretty handily there. 31-point win. There we go. We've got some math for you and some end zone here. 39-8 final. Winona walks away winners in that one. Okolona, Nettleton. We've got some close rivalries here, and Okolona gets that victory 27-6 over Nettleton. Vardaman and Water Valley. Shout out to the guy who calls and gives us the Water Valley score every single week.
Without fail.
We actually appreciate you so much, and I'm sure Water Valley does too, as they get the massive win over Vardaman. Not sweet potatoes, or sweet potatoes on the menu tonight for Water Valley as they win that one 41-8. And looking at some, ooh, wow, look at this score. Kosciuszko and Choctaw County, the Chargers, headed their second loss of the season. But Dylan Mitchell and Co, they'll be back. They're always a player in 3A there, but they lose this one to Kosciuszko by 16. Kosciuszko gets the win, 41-25.
Moving over to Eupora, the Eagles are facing Noxapater tonight. Going to start here in the second quarter. Noxapater's down 8-0. Jacavius Riddle gets the snap, takes off to his right, gets a nice run there, comes up short of the first down, and the Eagles take over in Eupora over here. Moving on, Eupora's ball. Peyton Perkins finds Jaquarian Wofford on a wide receiver screen. He's got a lot of room in front of him, and he would have a big gain, 55 yards. Look at him go.
Why'd he slow down?
I don't know. Inside the Tigers' territory. That's okay.
I would have gotten caught.
Fakes the pump. Wow. Perkins pump fakes. Sorry, that's a lot of P's there. Rolls to his left. He's going to hit Wofford again. And he goes to the end zone. All the way to the end zone. 25-yard touchdown, catch and score. They did fail on the 2-point conversion, but that's okay. Final score there. Noxapater 12, Eupora 14. Barely getting that win.
Wow, that 2-point conversion literally proved to be the game. Also, more games coming up. East Webster and Caledonia. How would that one fall out? And then we head to some Thursday night action between Hatley and West Lowndes and Smithville and Hamilton coming up on EndZone. Stick with us.
Back to EndZone, starting at East Webster. The Wolverines hosting Caledonia here. Early on for Caledonia, one toss off the pitch. Cohen Clark gets it right side, has a nice gain for the first down. Beautiful right there. Later on, Tyler Long, the quarterback keeper here, he would get a nice gain up the middle inside the 5-yard line, but not going to make it all the way. Later on, Long with the quarterback sneak again. He walks into the end zone for the 2-yard touchdown. Point after touchdown is good. Caledonia up 7-0. Later on, Cooper Stidham gets the snap to his left, and he finds Miles Stidham. Maybe they're brothers. Lots of dancing and cowbells, I guess. Okay. Later on, R.T. May gets the ball up in the middle, breaks the tackle, and he's in the end zone for the 13-yard score. East Webster ties the game at 7 to end the first quarter. Final score there, 43 something. I couldn't see it.
And, well, we have a score that we can see here. Amory gets the win over South Pontotoc. Pontotoc, as a town, kind of drops to 1-2 on the day, but Amory will walk away winners in this one. They win that one pretty big, 53-6. And next, having some Thursday night action, Hatley and West Lowndes. Hatley leading 8-0. Christopher Foster's going to run, but then drops the baby, and it is recovered by West Lowndes to get the turnover. Seth Lee not very happy with his quarterback on that one. A few plays later, Caden Burton drops back. Or, excuse me. My bad, Ja'Kian Lucas. He's going to get the carry there, and they're going to move the chains. Here we go. Caden Burton's going to look back and throw deep. He's going to find a wide open Kylan Ellis for the West Lowndes touchdown. The score and then the celebration there. They'd go for 2 and get the conversion. That one would be all tied up at 8 apiece. Hatley now back on offense. Kane Wren is decked in the backfield for a 3-yard loss to the same guy that just scored the touchdown. He's doing it on both ends there. What a play by West Lowndes. Still tied at 8-8 now. Lewis just gets another carry, and he will get back into the end zone. West Lowndes would go up there, and they'd go in front, but Hatley would have the last laugh in this one as they proved a 5-0. The final, Hatley 20, West Lowndes 16. And looking at some more scores coming at you now, Moorville and Mantachi. Mantachi's defense, Bad Boy Booth, got to go back to the drawing board this week.
He watches this.
I'm sure he's.
We shout him out every week.
Yeah,
Come on, Bad Boy Booth.
But their defense, not necessarily best night, but they will be back. They've had some great defensive games, but just not this one against the Troopers. The Troopers win that one on the road pretty handily, 44-12. Oh, my goodness. And look at this score, guys. 43-0, our first shutout of the night. Baldwin, you know, it doesn't matter. You get a state championship and a coaching change. A lot of people leave. You're starting quarterback safety. Do it all guy leaves. It doesn't matter. The Bearcats go on the road and blank East Union 43-0.
It's harsh.
And some more Thursday night action. Smithville and Hamilton. We will start Justin Verner. Going to walk down one in to get the Lions on the board. Doesn't even look like he broke a sweat there. Smithville now back on offense. Going to throw over the middle, but is picked off by Hamilton's Miles Self, and he's going to take this one all the way for the touchdown. Wow, look at that play. They're starting off this one fast. They're just fueling the momentum there. They're up now 14-0, and the celebration there. Smithville back on offense. Trying to get a score here. The deep ball is good, and he's going to run down the sideline, pushed out of bounds by the Camden Hood. What a play to get them into the red zone. Lions are going to roar or cry. We're going to find out here. Justin Verner is going to throw. It's going to make a lot of these Smithville fans cry. I'm not going to lie here. But the Lions are going to go in for the score. But watch this. The handstand and the flip by Hamilton. It would be that kind of night in Smithville. Hamilton walks away with a massive victory. That win that one 47-0. 25-13. What a win for the Lions. And what a win, and what a bounce-back win for Calhoun City. Andy Jennings clearly very not happy with last week's result, and there you kind of go and blank Shaw there. So great win by a defensive coach. Final score in that one, 44-0. Second shutout of the night.
TCPS and Faulkner tonight. Second quarter, Eagles leading 7-0, and Micah Young with a nice gain up the middle here. Knocking on the door, Bryce Goodwin takes it in, and the Eagles extend the lead with this play, 14-0. Wow. The visitors put together, no, we're still cheering there. Visitors put a drive. Anthony Morgan powers his way down to the first down for the Faulkner Eagles. Not all the way, but kind of close. Then Easton Gates takes the handoff and goes all the way up for the score. Faulkner cuts the lead down 14-7, but waiting minutes off of the half. Young for TCPS goes for the 31-yard touchdown right here. Watch this. All the way, going to make it there. Eagles lead 21-7 at the half. And the final on that game, Faulkner 7, TCPS 42.
And Oak Hill Academy, they're in West Point. They're not at home in West Point, but it doesn't matter because Carroll Academy apparently became their home tonight. They get that 30-point win, 44-14, the final.
Starkville Academy, another 0 here, another shutout. Park Lane, 37-0 there over Starkville Academy. They'll bounce back, though. I got faith in them.
Vols will be back. They've had a good season up to this point. Just a little off night in Park Lane Academy, but it probably says more about them than anyone else. But Lamar County and Barry. And starting here in the first quarter, Lamar County going to get a first down here. But it wouldn't be enough. Barry back on offense now. Quarterback there, throwback. He's going to launch this one deep to a wide open, Lamar County defender. Of course, he makes the great interception, and he's going to return this one all the way back into Barry territory. Big change from a big play to an interception and a takeaway. Lamar County back on offense now. Running up the gut, not really much to go there. Barry gets the stop at the line of scrimmage. Lamar County fakes the run, throws deep. That one is just out of bounds, not really getting much to go on offense now. Barry rolling out, and I guess Lamar County both rolling out here. But the final in this one, we've had a very close and defensive game here. Lamar County would fall just short to Barry. The final in this one, 16-14.
Moving on to Demopolis and Aliceville for homecoming. It's homecoming for them as well. We head into the second quarter as Aliceville, they're going to try to establish a run game with Cavante Dedrick, but he got stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Moving on, Jackets go 3 and out. Give it back to the Tigers where quarterback J.Y. McAlpine would hit the receiver, Fred Aldridge, right down the seam and extend Demopolis' lead. Aliceville on the next drive right here. He's still celebrating. Next drive right here. Tried to get some passing going as the run game wasn't working, but linebacker Bo Davis came on and delayed. Mosley on the next play tried to get something going, had nothing to help him. His offensive line, this time he gets sacked there. And on the final play of the first half, Mosley throws it deep trying to get something going for Aliceville, but it was deflected. Almost picked off, but it wasn't. Demopolis went on to win homecoming night by a score of 34-12 was the final there. 34-12. Yep. And Sulligent and Hamilton. Hamilton gets a massive win here, 55-6. Quick math, Carlo. What is that? 49?
Oh, geez, 49. Yeah.
Big win over in Alabama there for Hamilton.
Sulligent not their best tonight, but looking at some more academy scores here. Winona Christian over North Delta. North Delta going home losers tonight. Winona Christian, they're very happy tonight. They win that one. Here, Avery, some quick math for you.
29.
There we go, 35-6, the final there. Winston Academy, shout out Winston Academy. They get their first win of the season in a really, we're talking about unders and overs, really low-scoring ball game, probably the low-scoring game of the night. They win. Winston Academy goes to Canton Academy, and they win that one 12-3. And looking at, overall, Avery, you were at the Noxubee County game. What did you take away from Louisville's? Somebody was going to end with, Louisville almost was going to have their third loss, Knoxville with their second. Somebody was going to be unhappy. Both those teams very good, but what do you take away from that one?
I mean, I'm feeling for Tyrone Shorter. I was ready for him to get a win going, and so that game was really fun. Lots of high energy, lots of interceptions over there tonight. I don't know what was in the air, but super fun game to be at. Packed on both sides of the stadium, and so that was awesome to see. But yeah, loved it over there. I'm glad Tyrone Shorter got his win. I'm cheering for him. So
he's got plenty of fans when you have 7 state championships.
That's true.
Kind of get some, but Knoxville County, they've had 2 losses, one to West Point, one to Louisville.
West Point.
Yeah, two great teams
big
there.
Game
but
tonight.
Yeah, talking about that West Point and Tupelo game. In fact, that was the Golden Waves' first loss at home in nearly 2 years of calendar time. Wow, what a victory for Brett Morgan, and what a start for that season they've had.
Yeah.
I mean, they've knocked off Louisville, Knoxville County, Starkville, and Tupelo back to back to back to back. I mean,
is there another championship in their future?
I mean, it sure look. I mean, Tupelo was widely regarded as the best team in the state. They ranked 16 in the entire country, and they lose at home field after the 18-game win streak was snapped. I mean, you could argue that West Point has had probably one of the best starts of any team in the entire state for this season. I mean, they're handing these teams their first and only loss, and they're going
Look
on
at Brett
the road.
Morgan.
They're doing it at
Look
home.
at him go.
I mean, the Green Wave they're on a roll this season. They lost some guys last year, so it's just a very good, impressive job by Brett Morgan and his staff. But yeah, that was in the battle of 1 versus 2. It definitely lived up to the expectations, and I actually didn't mention this when I was calling the highlights earlier in the show, but West Point won this game. It was 21-21 within the final minute, and West Point scored a touchdown with 11 seconds left to take the lead and win the game. Probably the best win in Mississippi up to this point, just because of the winning streak. Tupelo was undefeated. I mean, what a job by Brett Morgan and co.
Yeah.
But I also want to shout out Calhoun City. They lost heartbreaker last week. ND Jennings, very much a defensive coach, played in the NFL for my Green Bay Packers. Shout out them as well. They're going to bounce back. That's the Cowboys, but they go out and they shut them out and they get a bounce back win. They're also another team contending for that state title and won it.
Well, you get to shout them out. I'm shouting out Starkville. I like the Yellow Jackets. That's my team this year. I'm cheering for them. I like John Carr. Big win against Brandon. I'm feeling for them. So shout out to Starkville, all the Yellow Jackets out there.
And tossing to our Fastnet play, we obviously have to do Tupelo and West Point. I mean, that's probably the biggest win of the season up to this point.
The Fastnet Speed Play, brought to you by Fastnet, powered by 4 County. Fast, affordable internet service from the people you know. WCDI Sports EndZone Show with Carlo Barone and Avery Cameron is brought to you by Carl Hogan Toyota. Fastnet, powered by 4 County. And Clark Beverage Group,